through the years, as I have been a news anchor reporter, the times I've felt most alive, and I love breaking news. I love getting the story. I love uncovering the thing that somebody did wrong or highlighting somebody that was inspiring. I mean, I love to tell the stories and meet all that's been fantastic. It was the perfect career for me. But if I were to be honest, the most alive I ever felt was when I'd get invited to a classroom to speak. And the kids would just be hanging on my every word. Or that young reporter that just came in. And I would say, honey, you and I are going to spend a little time in the audio booth today. Because they were talking like this. And I'm like, why? You're not talking like that to me now. Why would you do that? So we go in the audio booth and we start fixing that. And then all of a sudden their confidence level is shot through the roof because they're being more true to themselves, even just recording their voice. They got to win. She got to win. So now, what else do you have? So when you are helping people get to what Oprah calls the light bulb moment, that's exciting. I know it is for you, Mark. That's why you wouldn't be doing this if you weren't excited that people listening might be having a moment that's getting them to the next level. So I hope to be a speaker. The book is, as Elle would say, it's your business card.
Yeah. So you had to do it. That's the point,
and
right?
she said not everybody has to write a book that wants to speak, but you do. You have too many stories.
Yeah. And so when you wrote the book, though, you went through this process. You got the whiteboard out. She's helping you. So it was important. There's another message there. Like this conversation could go for hours and hours and hours because I have all these offshoots, because what that tells me is you're reinforcing the importance of having really significant people around you.
Yes.
People that care about you. But what I know is I bet that you developed that relationship with her over decades.
Of course, yeah.
Right? And see, so that's everybody's wondering, like, why is someone not coming to my rescue? Why aren't there people helping me? It's, well, because you probably haven't served them in your past enough. You haven't probably been of service to them, maybe. Maybe you haven't been as valuable to them. But here's what's fascinating about you. You listened to the person in the room that you needed to listen to in November.
Yes. Absolutely.
I find very often that people either don't know or they're unwilling to do that. So back in the day, that younger reporter that you said, hey, honey, listen, we're not going to talk like that. Let's go into the audio booth and fix this.
Yes.
At times they've listened.
They've always listened.
Okay. And so, but you listen, where's that come from? Because we all see, like, how do we learn that? Because before you could be bold to write the book, you followed the path of a mentor, of someone else.
Yes, people did that for me.
Okay.
Donna Britt, the first female anchor I worked with, who is now passed, but she would rip my copy to shreds out of love and believing in me. And she said to me, I'll never forget, Julie, your brain needs to catch up with your talent, which could have sounded kind of like a little bit of a criticism there. but I didn't know anything. I was in my early 20s, and I had this talent for being on camera and telling the story and all that, but I needed to understand things better. I need to read the paper cover to cover every day. I needed to watch the network news reports. She understood that I was at a stage in my career I needed to listen more than I talked. And I got that from her. And George Sells, who was her co-anchor, to this day is my mentor. And he read the book and said, Julie, this, and this. Okay, thanks, George. He's in his 80s now, and he's still the best, strongest newsman I've ever worked with. So you always know whom to listen to. But
you did. I'm being honest. Like if you're going to help people move forward, this is my opinion, and you're going to be paid thousands and then tens of thousands of dollars to speak.
Ideally.
Well, that's what I've learned. If you keep going with all your skills and your talent, if you keep going, that's what's going to happen.
Thank you. That's what Elle tells me.
Well, that's what will happen.
Yeah.
And so I think I just got off the phone. We just got out of a meeting. And I called a person's in Dallas, and I called a very successful person that makes big money to go speak.
Okay.
And it's good to have, and he instantly picked up, and we're talking with the content team.
Very nice.
And I said, hey, when me and you were talking 3 weeks ago, can you share with my team what you said? And I know what will happen if you keep going, and I'm pretty confident you're a person, you put your head down, you're going to accomplish this. But there's a lot of people who don't listen to the experts, who don't listen to the mentors. And when you're on stage, there's going to be a lot of people in those audiences. I'm not necessarily saying when you go somewhere where there's people 20 and 30, but there's going to be that 30-year-old woman sitting in the stage or in the audience.
Who's going to roll her eyes at me?
Yep. It's going to happen a ton. And here's what there are experts. There's a guy named Gary Vaynerchuck.
Okay.
Gary V. And he is one of the gurus of social content. He has a social media marketing company in New York City. This guy is enormous.
Okay.
Written all the books. And he gets paid, I believe, $250,000 for a 45-minute keynote.
What?
Yes. Go online, check him out.
I need to think bigger.
Okay. So
thank you. I need to think bigger. I'm making a mental note. Give me a second.
It's real.
Go ahead, Mark.
So there was one 3 years ago that they flew him to Indonesia.
Okay.
Guarantee it's private and all that and everything. So flew him to Indonesia. And he walks on the stage, and he's talking about how he's going to deliver his keynote. But something must have happened to him that day, that night. And he said, you know what, you all? I've signed the contract. I get to use this 45 minutes however I want. I normally spend 30 minutes keynote and 10 or 15 minutes Q&A afterwards. Here's what I've realized. 95%, and these people have paid thousands to come to this,
Yeah.
and he's the dude.
Yeah.
He said 95% of you all aren't going to do anything that I tell you to do today. I've accepted this about this world. You guys, you're saying you're listening to me. You're coming here to hear me. I'm telling you exactly what to do. I put it out online, and 95% of you aren't going to do a thing. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to answer the questions you have for me.
Okay.
So if that's his presentation on a stage in Indonesia, that's not just unique. That's a human thing.
Yeah.
What I also heard was this ties in. There is a psychiatrist at Harvard who trains the other psychiatrists.
Mm-hmm.
You're smiling. And he was on one of the top podcasts a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And the guys asked him questions. And he made a statement that I went, that is profound. He said, I'm not going to get it exactly right, but human beings aren't good at making decisions that are good for us. He didn't say 5% of human beings.
He said human beings.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that goes back to what I was told about a lot of what we tell ourselves is what we need to hear or want to hear to build our self-esteem. And so if we make it less about just trying to feel good about ourselves and more about it's okay to just be honest with ourselves.